Hello everyone. Welcome to this week's grammar lesson, transitions. Before we start watching this video, I want you to equip yourselves with the following resource: the literary companion book and your grammar activity booklet. At the end of the lesson, you should be able to identify the different types of transition words and phrases. Use transitions in your speech and writing. Let's begin. What are transitions? Transitions are words, phrases that show the connections between ideas within a sentence, between sentences, or between paragraphs or sections of a text. In a narrative, transitions often help orient readers by showing the sequence of events or how much time has passed. Transition markers can be classified into three categories as sentence connectors, clause connectors, and others. The first category, sentence connectors. This includes transition words and conjunctive adverbs. Transition phrases appear in the beginning, middle, or end of a sentence. In this case, a comma is needed. Look at the example below. For example, the Baltic Sea in the northern Europe is only 1/4 as saline as the Red Sea in the Middle East. In this sentence, the word or the phrase in green, for example, is an example of a transition phrase. The second type of transition markers is clause connectors. Clause connectors are used with a comma to join two independent clauses and to form a compound sentence. You might recall from your previous lessons that an independent clause is a group of words with a subject and a predicate and can stand alone. Look at the example below. In a matriarchy, the mother is the head of the family and all of the children belong to her clan. Here, the coordinating conjunction and joins the two independent clauses. The second example. In warm climate zones, water evaporates, so the concentration of salt is greater. Here, so is another example of a transition marker. It's a connector. It connects two independent clauses. More examples of clause connectors. For example, yet and but. Examples. Thomas Edison dropped out of school at age 12, yet he became a famous inventor. The word yet is similar in meaning to nevertheless, and it's used when you talk about unexpected or surprising contrast to the first clause. The second example, I want to study art, but my parents want me to become an engineer. Here, the transition marker is but. But is preferred when the two clauses are direct opposites or direct oppositions. More examples of clause connectors. For example, subordinating conjunctions. Subordinating conjunctions are one type of conjunction, right? They are used to introduce a dependent clause which is joined to form a complex sentence. Use a comma if the dependent clause comes before the independent clause. Do notice a comma if the dependent clause comes after the independent clause. Look at the example below. Although the company's sale increased last year, its net profit declined. Although here is a subordinating conjunction, it begins the dependent clause. Since this is a complex sentence that begins by a subordinating conjunction, it should be followed by a comma. The second example, the company's net profit declined last year, although its sales increased. Now the dependent clause follows the independent clause, so we are not supposed to use a comma here. There are transition markers which do not belong to any one of the previous two categories, so we can simply classify them as others. They are used to indicate transition at the other two. For example, we have words like additional, despite, examples. These are transition markers. Let's see how they are used in sentence. An additional reason for the film's bankruptcy was the lack of competent management. Here, the word additional suggests or indicates that indicates a previous idea. It's a continuation of a previous idea. Therefore, it's a transition marker. Look at the second example. Examples of vocabulary difference between British and American English include petrol, gasoline, windscreen, windshield, and lorry, truck. Here also, the use of the word examples suggests that there is a previous idea which is connected to this one. Another example. Despite increased sales, the company's profit declined last quarter. Do you need more practice? If you do,